further ado, it's time for another one of our Salute the Champions. Right now, we're going to have joining us one of the 2024 Salute the Champions recipients, our very own Chef Ricky Moore. What's going on, Chef? How you doing?
Good people.
Black History Month is an integral part of our nation's tradition, in which we continue to recognize and promote positive, impactful.
Nice to meet you.
Right. Big Reese, man, OG.
What's up, man? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
K to the Mac to the Mac.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Everything's everything.
Man, I tell you what, it's good to have you joining us this morning, because I tell you, it is I'm telling you, it's one of the things, like Reese and I, we always talk about it. The reason we came up with the Salute the Champions Award, because we wanted to highlight, recognize, and honor people that we know have been doing great things in our community for some time, whether it's recognized by the nation and the world or not. Right. We want to make an opportunity, take an opportunity to do that. And here's another one.
Hey, man.
Here's another one. We get a chance to go. We were just sitting here talking stories about, going to the little green house, I call it. The little green house.
Yeah. That was the beginning. That was, like I said, it's amazing how, from then till now, all this time and space has occurred and all this stuff. But sometimes when you start humbly, man, you never know where things can go.
Oh, man, we're so excited to have a 2024 Salute the Champion recipient. Of course, Chef Ricky Moore, who's a 2022 James Beard Foundation winner, which is a big deal for the best chef in the Southeast, and self-professed North Carolina seafood evangelist. That's what he is right there.
Amen.
Amen.
Again.
And let the church say what? Amen again.
You can feel his spirit all in that fish.
I'm telling you, it's Fish Friday, so let's do what we do.
So, but let's talk about the beginnings. How did you get in this space? Let's talk about that.
So, thank you for asking that question. So, the idea for me was that I was in a place professionally where I wanted to start my own business, right? I started off, my entire career has been all fine dining, Michelin star, upscale stuff. That was my pathway. But when I decided to open my own business, for me, I knew the economics of what that meant, all right? Now you transition from being an employee to an owner. So for me and my wife, Norma, we talked about it, say, okay, we got to make sure whatever we do, we minimize the risk. Got an opportunity to go to interview in Singapore. Let me tell you a quick story. Super interesting. So, I made sure I CC'd my wife on all these emails, but some headhunter said, hey, we're looking for a chef to open up an American brasserie in Dubai. But the interview is in Singapore. So, right away, brother started feeling, suspicious. Like, what's going on? Hey, babe, I'm going to CC you just in case something jump off. You know what I mean?
Make sure I come back.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, we kept going back and forth, and it was real, So they gave me a first-class ticket all the way to Singapore, back and forth. And I was going over there to do a tasting. All right. And so when I went there, I got there, did a tasting, and all of a sudden, I didn't hear anything else. I had a chaperone. So I stayed over there hanging out for like a month. All right. Wow. So I got a free trip out of the deal.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
And over there, get to the point, over there they have something called hawker stalls. So it's like an open air market of food places. It only took like 2 to 3 people to work in them. So I got the idea from that. So you know what? I would love to start a little small place just like that, just to have a small footprint to get going.
That's crazy.
Came back off that trip. Look, lucked up. I was driving around Durham. I was doing recons, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, trying to find a little spot. And all of a sudden, I was driving on Mangum Street. I said, yo, that's it.
That's the one.
That's it. Wow. That's it. That's how it happened. That's amazing.
Awesome. We are talking to our 2024 Salute the Champion, renowned chef Ricky Moore. I want to know the backstory behind the name Saltbox Seafood Joint.
Okay, so background. I'm very methodical. I do a lot of study. I've been building notes for years, and I look at all the major brands, Xerox, Apple. I look at what those images look like, and I gathered that, it need to be an image that is burning image in people's minds, the consumer's minds. So Saltbox came from up in New England. There's houses that have a short side of the roof and a long side. Those are Saltbox structures. and the one on Mangum Street had that sort of situation. Not traditionally, because they just built that extra level there so it can be a cover, but it's Saltbox,
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah.
And also, to fortify that, I was in a hardware store looking at shed books, and they had a shed called the Saltbox. And it looked good on the page.
Right.
So that's it.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, just to piggyback off of that, so
I love
I
this.
know you're from Eastern North Carolina, but why seafood?
You know what? I could have done a multitude of things, Reese. I just felt like that was a seafood joint.
I'm glad you did, because I love it.
Honestly, it felt like I grew up eating seafood on the coast. Bonefish, croaker spots and all that kind of stuff. So it just felt like a place to walk up to and get a hot plate of fish.
Walk up to and get a hot plate of fish. Doesn't get any better than that. We're talking with Chef Ricky Moore, owner of the Saltbox, at one of our 2024 Salute to Champions recipients, and we're having a phenomenal conversation. But so now let's talk about the style and the taste of your seafood, because I read people's reviews, I see people go there, I see people. It's always gonna be somebody that don't like something.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's some people. I mean, those two people that don't like the sports. It's only two.
It's the same two.
It's the same two.
same
But guess
two
what?
all the
They
time.
listen every day. So thank you.
There you go.
But talk your style, your influence, and where that came from, and why you did it the way you did it.
Awesome question. Thank you that's a great question, because this is good for people to know. So, look, there's nothing new about what I'm doing. Right, we're in Eastern North Carolina. Folk grew up eating fried fish, coleslaw, potatoes, some hush puppies. Okay?
Right,
a little foil butter thing. You dip it in, come in a little basket. All right? For me, stylistically, being the chef that I am, and from whence I came in my training, as a business owner now, not as a creative. All right, I wanted to do something that can connect with the masses right away, but now I can apply what I learned as a craftsperson, as a cook, to really craft the experience and make it something a little bit more elevated, okay? And that's sort of the idea behind this. A lot of chefs in general, who wanted to start on their own, they can't restrain themselves from being creative, right? Because we spend all that time, So I wanted to do something that, I know people know what fried fish is and coleslaw. I know that. So let me just take the coleslaw, take the mayonnaise out. I'm not anti-mayonnaise.
But now you out to my heart. Now, I want to talk about that.
But listen, hold on now. This is what he said. Okay, he's not anti-mayonnaise.
I know, but I am. But go ahead. Keep it going.
Yeah. So I would take little nuances of things and kind of change them up a little bit, not too far, but just make them meaningful, different. Look, when you come to Saltbox, you're gonna have a different seafood experience as opposed to when you go to another one.
Yes.
Not to say that I'm better. I just wanted to deliver something a little different.
And difference is the opposite word there, because different is coleslaw, even with the potatoes.
Yes.
They're not fried, but they're in between fried, and you got green peppers in there and all that stuff, and that's the whole. The presentation of it all is a whole different flavor.
There it is.
I know what I'm talking about, because I go there.
You ain't got to tell me.
Need a commercial? Here you go.
Look. We ain't just talking about it. We know about it.
Oh man, that's
We
my
know about
goodness. Yeah. But I once again, hush puppies. Everybody know what hush puppies is, right?
Yeah.
I spent time in an Italian kitchen. Part of my job working in the pastry department was doing something called a zeppoli. And a zeppoli is basically a fried donut sprinkled with brown sugar. All right? I associated that with hush puppy growing up. That's how I made the association. All right? So the idea here is I'm going to put both of those together, all right? And I'm going to create something called Hush Honeys. Okay?
Hush Honey.
Yes, Hush Honeys. That's a signature dish. I can't take it off the menu. People enjoy it.
You sure cannot.
You know what I mean? And here's what I want to share as well. It's tough for chefs to, like I said, have restraint and not be overly creative. So for me, I've reached a level of maturity where I know simplicity is where it's at.
Yeah, you
People
winning.
love simplicity.
Simple wins.
That's right. Every time.
Simple is a winning formula.
Yeah. 49 right. They got a formula right.
Yep. There you go.
So you already told us who you put it for. Okay. There it is right there.
We have that.
Right.
We have that
I got to team
answer
up with
now.
Pam here.
Nice. So I always ask this question, and I always get a chance to kind of get a little insight into people's journey or their story.
Yeah.
So think about along this path, along this journey that you've had.
Right.
What probably surprised you the most about this actual journey? Seeing that you were already trained, you've already cooked, you've been in the Army, you've done all these things, you've been around seafood all your life.
Right.
But once you got to be Chef Ricky Moore of the Saltbox, what made you sit down one day and go, damn?
There's a few of those moments. Several. Both of you know where the location was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both of you know the timing which I opened.
Yep.
Both of you know the transition at the time of the neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay, so we're clear.
That's right.
All right. I ain't gonna take no credit, but I think Saltbox gentrified that area. Say there.
Well,
It definitely, because why you show up and wait in that long line?
Yeah.
I was the minority. Trust me.
Say it again, Reese.
I was the minority when I went that long line. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know a couple people that always say, man, I ain't gonna get that high price fish.
I had a ton of them. And that was a whole nother thing. Changing that perception of what folk are conditioned to buy.
Yes.
My goal, I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I saw that location. Luck happens, timing happens, organic things happen. But that, for me, was a restaurant for the neighborhood. And we know traditionally what the neighborhood is. Black neighborhood. Right. And I believe that neighborhood deserved quality just like everybody else down the street.
Right, exactly.
That was the goal. Okay. Obviously, sometimes you get challenged.
Yep.
That's to be understood. I anticipated that. So I got all, man, you too high, man. Nobody paying no damn. I was good with that. I received it. I was able to absorb it. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing folk like, hey, that would never come to that neighborhood, ever. And all of a sudden, like, started to happen. I'm like, wait a minute. I saw little bugaboos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw, whoa, wait a minute. And then, to be very frank, some black folk was like, whoa, man, what are you doing over there? whoa. I had to leave this neighborhood and go someplace else.
Right. And now you in this neighborhood.
I know. Trust me, this is incredible information.
But the fact that you say they deserve quality.
I love
what
that.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We talking, again, we having this great conversation with 2024 recipient, Salute the Champions, a Culinary Institute of America graduate. This guy has a plethora of awards that's unbelievable. I got to ask this one question. I'm going to ask all you people that's in your class. Who's that one person that you could think of, said, well, this particular person I can really just tip my hat to in terms of got me focused and part of the reason why I am today.
Oh, okay. Wow. Let's see here. Let's think. Man, Reese, that's such a, for me, when I hear that question, it's so complex because, it's like, I don't want to disrespect so many of the, because a lot of people that, first off, I'll say this. I'm going to recognize one of my chief warrant officers in the military because I did not want to make the military career. It was just a start for me. I needed to figure some stuff out. I needed to grow up. And so, I found a love for cooking in the military. I really did. Now, on the backstory of that, I grew up in Eastern North Carolina eating a lot of country food, so I got a lot of good cooks around me. So that's part of my DNA, all right? And somehow this came to be. But he told me, hey, if you're going to make this career, you're going to get out of the military, I need you to go to this school, okay? And he said, and I did my research. There wasn't no internet at the time, so I did my research. And the beautiful thing about this is that, and the Culinary Institute of America is the Harvard of cook schools. The school began with GIs like me, coming back from World War II. So that's how the school started.
Nice.
So I made that connection, and that made it meaningful for me to pursue it. Yep.
That is unbelievable.
So that's that was the motivation. And then along the way, you know, I just adopted people who I believe were examples in which to follow. You know what I mean? You know, everybody has their pluses and minuses, but you just extract things, you know. But, you know, always family was always super supportive. You know, I come from a place where, you know, I grew up, man, working in blueberry fields, pulling tobacco. So, you know, I'm around workers. Yeah. People who know how to work and move through things. So I just carry that forth, you know, and I think I attracted a lot of people who wanted to share thoughts with me and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome. We're talking to Chef Ricky Moore, our 2024 Salute the Champion. It is Black History Month, and this whole program was set up for Black History. So I have to ask you, when you think about Black history, who inspired you the most there?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Okay, are you talking from a culinary perspective or just in general?
It could be in general. Yeah, in general.
Oh boy, man, I'm gonna say Sidney Poitier. That's what I'm gonna say.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say James Baldwin. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say Nina Simone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that because she was. It's several, you know.
But who in your industry that we might not even know the person?
Oh, that's true.
That inspired you.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. So that's a good question. So, man, I'm gonna go to Miss Edna Lewis. Okay?
Never heard of her.
Okay, Miss Edna Lewis was a chef who had some ties here in North Carolina in Farrington House. But she had a restaurant in New York City. She came from the middle part of Virginia. She wrote a cookbook called In the Pursuit of Flavor. Okay. And a lot of us Black chefs, you know, she's the grandmama. You know, she's like our Julia Childs. Okay. She spent time. She wrote a book and told a story of the food she grew up eating, and it wasn't particularly defined as soul food. It was country cooking. You know what I mean? And so she tells these stories of how they went to go pick berries and that sort of thing. So she would be the one I would reference. And then from a more of a modern perspective, you know, one of the only Black chefs who was recognized by James Beard prior for a lot of it was Chef Patrick Clark. Okay. And he was someone who you know, was a trailblazer for all of us. He spoke French. You know, he was running 3 restaurants in New York City at the time. Wow. That was unheard of. Wow. You know, and he was doing beautiful new American cooking, you know. Wow. Black guy.
Wow.
Right? And I spent time with him, and, you know, just a phenomenal example.
This is why, man, we do the Salute the Champions.
100%. I'm saying
2024 Salute the Champions Award recipient, Chef Ricky Moore. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
Thank you.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you, and I'm sure you are full of more stories than you even probably got started. Till you got started.
Hey, I'm an OG in the game now.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta cut this damn.
Look, you got more stories than all of us combined, I'm sure. But congratulations, the story of entrepreneurship, the story of perseverance, the story of a true professional, and man, I'll tell you, it gives us pride and joy to be able to give you an opportunity to sit here and tell your story this morning.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me. You can have me back anytime. I don't know if some more opportunities, but call me up. I'll be here for you.
Sounds like a plan.